No, this. Hello? Audio. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Perfect. Hello, Warren. How are you?
Good. How are you, Carlos?
Good. Perfect. Now, hold on, because this is... Yeah, we just want to see this. That's what you wanted to see. Does it look nice, Warren?
Uh-huh. It looks familiar.
It looks familiar, huh?
Did they fix the email part of it, where like I can email like lost customers and stuff? No.
Wait, no. Which part?
Like when I try to email lost customers, like by store, like I pull up, all like age tickets, and then I want to send them.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't see that in the notes, so I wasn't sure.
Right.
Good.
No, yes, we're not. Yeah, it's done, Warren. It's done. Yeah.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
And can I delete customers too?
Well, it will depend on if there are open tickets for them or not.
There's no open tickets for people if they have no open tickets and they could be 6 months, a year, haven't come in, I get an error message every time I try to delete them.
No.
And they said that was going to be fixed too, so I'm hoping.
Yeah.
I haven't tried. Well,
yeah, that's fixed too.
Right. Okay.
Let's see who else is coming.
Oh, here.
Lenny, can you hear me?
There's two Lenny. One of them.
No, right. So I can hear Warren. I don't hear Lenny. Do you have problems logging into the meeting, Warren?
No, not at all. I went on my computer and did it that way. I do have a headset too, so that wasn't an issue.
Are you using the audio from your computer or phone?
Audio from my computer.
That's probably why I don't have a problem.
Okay. Let me see.
This one. People dial in.
Right.
So they may not hear them.
Well, we'll figure it out. We'll put a note.
Notepad.
Right. Yeah, we did have a little problem with the sound, but then we were able to just dial another number. So.
Oh.
And then we were wondering who else we have.
Something else. Whoever that is.
Right. Yeah, there's people trying to connect.
Philip?
Really?
She's trying to phone.
Just gonna give them a couple of minutes. Let's open this. Okay, Phyllis has sound. Hello, Phyllis?
No, she's got a speaker. Doesn't that mean
A microphone.
computer?
Right. Anybody else? Raise your hand, please. Joe Simon.
Hello?
Yep, I'm here.
Good. So we have Warren. You need to close that door.
I did close it.
The other one. Joe, right?
Here.
Phyllis. Little by little, we're adding attendance. How's everybody?
Good.
Good, good, good. Harry.
Here I go. I'm going to close the webinar that never been on before.
James, are you there?
Now you can use.
Oh, who can hear me?
James Rabbit can hear you.
Perfect.
Warren can hear you, as we spoke before.
Uh-huh.
And Phyllis can hear you.
Great.
Liz can hear you.
All right. Welcome, everybody.
Lenny hear us?
Lenny doesn't seem to be able to hear. What I'm going to do is open this so he can dial the other number. Right?
Oh, you have to do the blue one. Yeah, right.
This. Right.
Hello.
Hello, Gary.
Hello. Yeah. How you doing?
Fine, and you?
Is this Carlos?
That's correct. We're waiting for all the attendees to show up. This Carlos Zane is here next to me, and we're waiting for Lenny and the rest of the.
Okay. You said Zane's sitting next to you?
Yep.
Yeah.
Hi, Zane.
The names are. That's fine.
Yeah, Lenny.
And we still have them thumbs too. And
All right.
Gary, you dialed in?
Yeah.
You
We're
use the
gonna.
regular.
Well, I don't have a microphone on my computer, so we have you on our phone on speaker so we can hear you. But I've got the front office screen up on the computer now. I'm on the GoToMeeting on the computer. So Chris Buckingham, our general manager, and I are here ready for the meeting.
Having issues with the phone line. Says the telephone providers experience an outage, so the regular number is not working. And I think some people haven't picked up on that and they have to use a different number.
Ed, are you still with us?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Even though he's great, he's still there.
Mm-hmm.
And Lenny isn't.
Right.
Should I call himself?
Yeah. Tell him to use it. Okay. Who else is coming? I think Lenny is here. No, that's me. Trying to get everybody here. Jamie, can you hear me?
I can. Hello.
Hello. Good. So, who are we missing? I think we're almost ready. It's Lenny, right? Just give us 2 minutes to try to connect Lenny to this. Having problems with the phone, probably. Lenny, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Oh.
Can you hear me?
So, is everybody supposed to be here?
Not everybody. I see we have Mr. Radovic, represent Jamie's here from
Yes.
Joe Simon, Phyllis, Warren Schultz, Gary McCracken, Advance. We're close.
Missing one, I think.
What's that?
Missing one person?
So let's see, we had Jupiter, we have Albanos, West Oak, Courtesy Cleaners, Courtesy Cleaners is supposed to join us, Clothesline is here, Joe Simon is here from Pearl, waiting for Mr. Vance from Signature, Eric Haynes just texted, Eric Haynes from Martinizing, and Miss Phyllis Fish.
Okay, raise your hand if you're here.
The signature is here.
Yes.
Excellent. How are you, Mr. Vance?
Fine, thanks.
Well, might as well get started. We have a couple of people who are lagging behind, but they can certainly join in.
Okay, so well.
So I just want to say hi to everybody and welcome to today's webinar. If there's some background noise, we may have to ask you to mute your phones if it gets a little loud and a little distracting for everybody. But as long as everybody can hear, we're okay. If anybody can't, just shout out to us. My name is Lenny Gershader. I'll be your host. For those of you who may not know me, I'm DCCS's Vice President. I oversee the management of the sales team, support department, and research and development team at Positech. I'm excited to be part of this session today. It's our first one of hopefully many to come. I want to introduce today's speakers. It's going to be Carlos Gomez-Aruda, along with supporting input from Zane Kurtz. Carlos, for everybody who doesn't know him, I don't know anyone who doesn't, is our Senior Technical Support Person and Department Head of Quality and Assurance, which covers the testing of new releases as well as proactively keeping DCCS in concert with changes in Microsoft's operating system and database revisions. Zane is our senior programmer responsible for taking your ideas and comments, writing the software code to those features, which in turn turns his great code into mouse click and touches that you see on your screens each and every year. So I just have a couple of housekeeping items to cover quickly, and then Carlos will get started. I know that we had sent you some previous notes. We're going to probably, for the most part, stick to those notes. We're probably going to go over each and every feature, or partly each and every over feature, and you can ask questions, or we can save them towards the end. My guess is we'll probably navigate through this in about 35 or 40 minutes or so without questions, and probably for a total of 60 minutes get you back to getting those closed out for your customers. So the purpose of the webinar is really just to preview revision 2016, although we'll be demonstrating the functionality of the features and show you some of the back office setup on how these features do get set up. Our intention is not to substitute this for a training session. You will each have that opportunity individually when we upgrade your system. Everybody who's participating in this webinar is on our short list for REB upgrades, so we'll ensure that our support team gets in touch with you and arranges a date for you to get upgraded to this new software release. As I was saying, we hope we can keep the background noise to a minimum, so anybody that gets distracted, we'll just ask you to mute your phones. I was going to save questions and answers until the end so that we don't interrupt your business day for more than that 60 minutes, but you know, certainly with the we kind of broke it into a couple of small groups. With those small groups, feel free to jump in if there's some additional clarification required on some of the specific features. We're also recording the session, so we'll be able to email you you know, the session, questions and answers to, you know, anything that you want to go over, you know, afterwards. And certainly, you know, we're all available, from myself, Carlos, Zane, to all the support people, to answer any other additional questions that you have. So, having that, let's let's get started with today's presentation, and as I said, we'll be answering questions throughout. So Carlos is going to start off, correct, with I guess account updater, Carlos.
The account updater, right? The very first thing that we're going to see, and how it works and how it shows on the screen. Tell me.
So what we did for account updater, and what we try to do is a lot of the software revisions are based on feedback and comments from you guys. And our development team, we meet once a week. We take your feedback, we take your comments, we incorporate it into software revisions, look at it. And our first target and priority is really to see which software enhancement out of all the requests we get affect the greatest amount of people. We always look for something that's going to reduce cost, increase revenue first and foremost. Certainly today we're involved with more customization. We have many of you that require unique approaches or unique aspects of the software to address specific unique things where we've done that, and customization is probably more representation of more of what we do today than just mass software enhancements just for the sake of having them. So, one of the requests was this account updater that came out of one of our customers out west, wanting to be able to fill in missing account information during ticket writing and pickup. So whenever an account in the system lacks the basic information, addresses, email addresses, the pertinent information that we want to use for maybe marketing purposes, we now have a new feature called Account Updater that can be set up to allow you to do that. So with further information, Carlos will kind of take you through the feature and navigation of it, and you can ask whatever questions you want when he's done.
Okay, so we're going to go to ticket writing and start a new ticket. It's a process that you're familiar with. My employee number, and then I'm going to choose one account, random account. And this is the account updater. It's set up at this moment to ask for an email address that most of these accounts don't have. However, you can set it up to ask, remind you for each one of the fields that you see on the top of the window. Now, this can also...
Carlos, is the screen supposed to be moving forward and looking like what you're doing? Because my screen... my screen too, Carlos. So you need to take over. You need to take over the presenter.
It just looks like the basic screen, the front counter menu. That's it.
Oh. Yeah, hold on. Let me see.
You need to share your screen, Carlos.
I did.
There you go.
Yeah.
Here we go.
What about now?
I think we got it.
Everybody see the box now?
Yep, we got it.
Yeah, how did you get there?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I don't know what happened. I was the original presenter. So anyway. All right, so. Okay, so let me restart the ticket so you can see how I got there. I got here. With the employee number, I chose one account. Right? And then the screen pops out. This is a switch. This is an option. You can choose to have it or not have it. However, if you choose to have it, all these fields that you see on the top part of the window can be updated. However, you need to tell the system which fields do you want. Right? In this case, I set it up so you can type in the email address. Also, you can force an input of an email address, or you can just say, okay, here's the screen. There's an email address, type it in, and if it's not, just exit. That's the way it's set up right now. Okay?
And if the person has an email address, the screen won't even come up.
Correct. If all this information already in the system, it will skip this step. Now, as mentioned on the notes, this is something that you set up under file maintenance in the back office. We're going to take a look at that now so you can see how you can set it up. We added a new option that actually says account update. When you get here, you're going to have a list of fields that are selected by store. You can select, highlight them and just add them to the right, and those are the ones that are going to be used on the screen that we just saw. So as we can see, you have the email, the comment, the birthdays, and more importantly, the addresses, right? Now you can apply the settings to all the stores or for input of missing fields. So it's a whole new button.
Carlos, can you go back to account update, please?
Yes.
So depending upon the selected fields that you have set up that you want highlighted, that's what would prompt the CSR at the front counter to fill in those specific highlighted fields that are empty and we have not gathered from the customer?
Correct.
Okay.
I don't see phone number on there.
Your account number.
Don't let them play with name or phone number.
Yeah, we don't let them do anything with the name or the phone number. So those are key fields for the account. We identify the accounts with those. You can, as you know, on the miscellaneous functions and then change account info, you can add another ID that could be another phone number. Phone number is
So the account updater doesn't apply because the account can't be set up initially if we don't have a name or phone number. So that doesn't change. What we're looking for are empty fields where the CSR or however you take information from the customer hasn't been fulfilled, which is usually address, could be city, state, maybe an email address, a birthday, comments of that nature. So this is simply updating existing account information, not changing the account number, not changing the account name.
Correct. So as you know, the minimum info that you need to add an account is a name, a last name, and a phone number, right? So okay, moving on, I can just exit and finish my ticket, right? And then this brings us to the second item on the list, that is the customer source.
Well, Carlos, let's stop a second. Are there any questions related to account updater? I mean, simply put, the feature, the goal, the objective of the feature was to really improve the marketing capabilities of each individual store owner, knowing where to communicate with the customer. Certainly, collecting email addresses these days are of great importance for those marketing campaigns that you employ. So that's one of the primary reasons to do that. And the other part of it is that we're so busy during the day, adding new customers, hopefully, that we don't always take all the information that we need in terms of the marketing capabilities of the software. So that's what prompted this feature, and those are the fields that we incorporated, in terms of front counter operation for the CSR.
Is there a way to? It'll keep popping up several times. I mean, eventually the customer may say, "I don't want to give it to you." Is there a way to limit it to 3 times, 4 times, or does it just every single time pop up?
There's no limit.
There's no limit,
But
so you
that's
just
not
have to
okay.
like maybe make up an email just so it won't keep popping up, I guess.
A lot of people do that anyway. They'll put no email at .com.
.com.
Just to, they
Okay.
know not to ask.
Gotcha.
People do that normally now when they want to get email addresses, and people don't want to give them. They've been don'task.com or something.
Right. Okay.
There's a certain minimum characters you have to enter. A couple characters before the dot, before the @ sign, characters after the @ sign, and then a dot.
.com.
There's a .com button there. So sometimes.
Okay. So moving on. Now we're going to see how the customer services option works. This is basically included on the account change or on when you add a new account within ticket writing. There's a new arrow option here that says recent. These options, again, are previously loaded in the back office. There's a new option there that I'll show in a little bit. How do you do add all these reasons? And the important thing here is these reasons can be traced through a report. So basically, you can know if your marketing efforts are being successful, or these ads are good, or do you get
So one of the requests from one of our customers out in Reno, Nevada, that owns multiple locations, when adding an account, from a marketing standpoint, and it can be done from the front counter or the back office, this new drop-down menu shows you the various reasons of how this new customer heard about the store. So these reasons can be previously, set up into the system, which Carlos is showing in the drop-down menu. That's done in the descriptions tab in file maintenance for systems descriptions. And then this information can actually be tracked to evaluate the impact of different marketing efforts to attract new customers. So you'll know whether customers are coming in through a recent ad that you're running in a local paper, whether it's a customer referral, a mailer. So this will give you the ability to kind of track those campaign dollars and decide which marketing campaign is really showing a good return on investment for you.
So we could add one in there called like drive-by?
Yep.
Okay, got it. That'd be very helpful.
Definitely. Well, whichever reason that you can think of. Okay, so I'm going to exit here. And now I'm going to show you the new dashboard.
Carlos, I have one more question that may be on the minds of everyone. These reasons must be previously typed into the system?
Correct. Let me show you where you can type them.
So what we're talking about is kind of like in the message part of the back office per customer that likes starch or certain aspects of their shirts, for instance, that are permanently in a message when it pops up on a category. These reasons have to be previously typed into the system as well.
Correct. And the way you do it is you go to File Maintenance, you choose System Descriptions, and on the description tab, the last option will be Account Add Reasons. And here's where you add the reasons that you want. Just press Add and type it in, let's say, that's it. You can add as many as you want, like we said before. So do you have to do this previous to use it on the front counter? It's the same logic as Lenny was mentioning as the account messages, the account notes. Okay.
Yeah, so, basically in your setup, you're just looking for avenues of new customers, how you attract them, where they're coming in from. And again, our purpose in doing this was to give you a better management tool to know where new customers are coming from, be able to track them, and to decide from a managerial standpoint whether that campaign is cost effective or not.
Right.
Good idea.
Questions about questions about our new customer source feature?
Comments?
I think it's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
All right. Well, now we're going to move on to the new dashboard that will compare ready versus promised pieces. And I'm going to give the stage to Zane to explain to you how this works.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'll just preface it that one of the, I guess, weaknesses that we certainly have addressed is through this new dashboard, a lot of times in comparing ready versus promised pieces, the navigation in order to get the information that you require has been not as easily accessible. So we tried to develop it in such a way that it's more advantageous, simpler for you to grab. So on this new dashboard, we're comparing ready versus promised pieces, so the store will know how it's doing regarding production efficiency.
Right. Okay, so what I did is I'm just starting a new ticket, and you access the dashboard by clicking on the ready date, the red line on the top left. And this is the first part of the dashboard. There's another part, like I said. Zane is going to continue with this explanation.
The first graph you see is today's stuff for today. So as we promised 16 garments to be ready today, and only 7 are ready so far. And this is for all the stores combined, basically if you have a plant. You would use this if somebody comes in at 10 o'clock and says, can you have this ready today? You can look and say, you know what, there's way too much already promised for today, whether or not you can actually do it. You can look at this particular store by clicking where it says number 1 friendly cleaners, and it will show you everything you promised for the week in this particular store. So you can see that they have everything. They're only using one store. If there are multiple stores, they would have shown up in the beginning. So this is saying that for today we've promised 16 garments, and for tomorrow so far we've promised 7. So you can see how your flow is. If you're getting overbooked on a particular day, you can change the day to move it back or move it forward if you have room to squeeze it in. And then if to be a third level, if you click on one of those dates, it shows the breakout of the 16 tickets by category. So you finished all your rugs. He's doing okay, not so good on dry clean. And you can do this, like first you get the overall, then you get a particular store for the next week, and then you can get the categories within a particular day for that store. And that little heading there tells you what you're actually looking at. So go back.
Zane, I have a question. When does that metric hit this dashboard? Is it upon completion of an order?
Yeah, when you finish an order, it'll add. You can't add the date till you've finished the ticket. It doesn't know the date is yet. You can change it up to the last minute. So this is not including the ticket you're actually writing. So I guess keep that in mind.
Correct.
What's actually
it's based upon writing the ticket. It's not based upon completion, assigning in a conveyor location.
Well, that's what makes something finish is when you assign it to the conveyor. The final location, that means it's finished. That's what the graph, the color represents how much of it's actually been done versus how much of it needs to be done.
Okay.
Go back. Like I said, we only have one store that we're using. You have 3 stores. We would break out each of the 3 stores. Only showing one because that's all one. Only one has tickets written in it because this is a dummy database. But.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I want to clarify for everybody that this is our own demonstrative database. So we haven't accumulated the kind of information that you would have at your stores in order to show it in greater detail.
But the idea is there. I mean, whenever you write a ticket, just may clarify this. Whenever you write a new ticket, the number below, when it says 7 of 16, the number below the 16 will increase to 17. Whenever you locate a ticket, that 7 will become an 8. And that's how this is populated. Any comments, questions?
So Zane, just for clarification purposes, this is a quick iconic graphic snapshot of your productivity report that you would ordinarily have to go and back office and look at, correct?
Yeah, this is a good report, a good view, quick view.
Okay.
And if you have a lot of stores, the screen actually will grow to handle as many. First screen is a store 1. If we had all 4 stores had tickets, you have a graph for store 1, store 2, store 3, store 4. And it does get bigger if you have a whole bunch of stores. But obviously, we're only using 1. It doesn't really make that much show that.
Actually, the notes have 2 stores.
The notes have 2 stores. Right, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So. Okay. Okay, so, all right, let's move forward then. Okay. So, I'm going to get rid of this. All right. And now we're going to show you what we did with the ticket details screen. We added a great deal of information on the screen that will help you on a single view to figure out what happened to a specific ticket.
So what we did was improve the functionality of ticket details. So now the ticket details have been improved to the point where ticket details will now show the original ticket number, the original date for editing that ticket, and in addition to this, ticket details will also show the time of pickup, all the payments, if any installments apply, made to that ticket, plus when any price laters are present, it will display when this price later was added and who added it. Detail information is also included in the details of the ticket. So we enhance the detail of each and every one of these tickets.
Okay. Itemize of the payments at the bottom. All right. Okay. Any comments, questions?
The comment is, it's good. I spent a lot of time trying to put together a ticket like this, and it's all in front of you on one ticket. I like that.
Good.
That is nice. I wanted to ask, a lot of times when we were getting these tickets, the initials were backwards.
No, that is being addressed already.
That's been fixed. Okay, great.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right, and So now we're going to move to another module of the system that is the reports. We use it with reports, and for that we're going to the back office. Now I want to show you, first of all, a new report that is called Sales Monthly Comparison. By store, we end in the last day of January. February is not a complete month yet. That's why it's showing there. And do it by master category. And when you add this and generate it, it will give you your sales per month. It will allow you to, in an easy and effective way, compare month-to-month sales. Pretty straightforward. Okay.
So Warren, in the case of yourself and some of the other older, veterans of DCCS that went through the SuperDOS days, there obviously was some reporting under SuperDOS that did not transcend very well into Windows. So, through your input and certainly others, we've addressed that, and Sales Monthly Comparison has become a very important management tool for people to analyze their information. So that's where this came from.
Thank you.
A quick comment. I noticed on a lot of the reports that I get now that I look at on the screen, where it says UPS percent at the end, I noticed it's only got like half of the number listed on my screen, at least, like 4.12, and the 2 is like cut in half. It's the size of the field looks like it's a little bigger than the space you have to put it in. Is that something you guys look at when you do these reports?
Yes, we can address that. It's just the real estate that we have to create the report, but we can make some adjustments. Yeah, definitely.
Can you explain why
an email which report you have noted?
Yeah, that's just a general comment. There's a lot of little things like that where you can't quite see what the field really is because you either see part of it or maybe none of it. General comment. Nothing really needed to be done other than to recognize it when you do these reports. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, that's okay.
Lenny, I noticed that
yes.
on the report that we're viewing now, February and March are missing from the report. The period February 2015 through January 2016, so we should have March and February consecutively at the bottom of the field, below April.
Good catch.
Yeah. Well, no, it was obvious. Well,
Where there may not be any
it's
sales.
because there are no sales. So what we need to do is not suppress it when there are no sales. Like I said, this database.
You're saying you don't have sales plugged in for those 2 months?
If you notice in April, we only have one.
Exactly.
Okay.
This is the database we used to clean, and we started playing with it in April to get it ready for the show. It hadn't been used probably since clean before.
More than anything, it allow us to do whatever we want with the database now. I think it's a good idea to not suppress a month, even if, obviously you won't see that, but in this case what happened is the sales for February are 0 in March, so that's why they are not showing.
Yeah, Gary, obviously whenever we publish a new release, and I think one of the great attributes of having this session is to get your feedback and your comments. once the release is installed, and we continue to get some of your comments and feedbacks, it just allows us the opportunity to polish it. So, our goal certainly is to create the structure, the foundation of a lot of features that people have been looking for. Are they perfect? Some are. Some probably still going to require some tweaking. So, that feedback mechanism is significantly important to continued development of the product.
But Sarah, noticed another thing on this report, that in the programming of it, the screen before, master categories was clicked, but this is just totals only.
That's if you want to, everything runs for all categories. If you want to run it for just dry clean, you can just run it for dry clean.
Oh, I said master. Okay, I misunderstood.
Master categories, because sometimes you have multiple price lists in a store, you can tie them all together, like tie all the dry cleanings together. So rather than if you have two price lists, rather than have 37 categories show up, you just use the master so that all the dry cleans are combined, all the laundries are combined. Just like on your sales journal, you can have a combined dry cleaning listing at the end as opposed to if you use separate price lists. Some people only use one price list, so it doesn't mean anything. But some people have multiple price lists in each store, and this is a way to tie the dry cleanings together.
Mm-hmm. All right, so moving on, now we're going to see new addition that we made to the aging summary for those of you using AR. Now you can have a cutoff date for this report.
Hey, can I ask a question of everybody? Do you find receivables somewhat becoming antiquated?
No. The reason why.
No, I use this. This is fundamental in my systems. I have two of them, and I use them.
Gotcha. So you're still sending out statements, physical statements to customer, whether they're mailed or whether they're emailed, and you're finding that there's still a demand, there's still a need for accounts receivables.
The reason why we send out 10% of the statements that we used to. We went from about 550 down to about 50 a month.
Okay.
So we're not sending as many statements, but what we are doing is setting up more credit cards on file, especially at our 24/7 conveyor. And if a card fails, we have all of our card SOF customers listed as a house charge account, so that if the charges fail on the credit card, at least they land in the AR bucket, and we can begin billing them at that point. We're using it as a safety net.
Gotcha. That's a great reason for it.
That's the same thing we do. Yep, same thing we do.
But would you say in today's time, especially with deploying route operations out of a retail dry cleaning operation, that the majority of your customers are SOF credit card on file customers?
Not on mine. We don't save any credit card information. Everyone is swiped, and nothing is saved.
Okay.
However, we have 50 customers that we bill at the end of each month, and this is the document I use, the system I use to make sure that they pay them.
Okay.
We have
So your route customer actually has a card present transaction in order to get a route delivery?
Are you asking that of Jim Radovic?
I don't know who asked the question, but if it's Jim Radovic, that's what I'm asking. I know Jim's kind of new to us, so we're trying to do, and what I like about the webinars is interacting with other people who've used the system for like Gary McCracken's been a customer of ours for what, 50 years now, Gary. So there's input, there's input, there's experience that I think, on another time that we can interact together and exchange information that might, help James expedite his route operation and get paid a lot quicker than what it sounds like he's experiencing now.
Right.
Yeah, these people that I'm talking about are not credit card people at all. They're billed and they send me a check like 60 days after everything has been billed to them. They're big accounts. They're big accounts, and this is what I use to make sure when I get that check that the check matches what the amount should be for that month.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, all the credit card people, we don't save any credit card information on the normal walk-in. We're mostly laundry with a little dry, as opposed to dry cleaning with a little laundry. We're 95% laundry.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
having said that,
the reason you'd want to use the cutoff date is mainly if you forgot to run an age trial balance. People like to run it first thing in the morning and right after they run statements, and if they forget to do it or they lose it and they want to go back, they can get the cutoff date. Now, the important thing to remember if you do this is because of the way balance forward works, the detailed buckets are not going to be accurate. What will be accurate is the total. And that's what kind of, you'll see if you do that, you have a disclaimer on the bottom that says, forget the bucket. When you go backwards, all you can get is the accurate total as of the end of the month, or the end of 2 weeks, whatever you want to go back and see. But it is a way, if you forgot to run an age trial balance, you can go back and do it.
So, I mean, how many people are using accounts receivable out of this group of 9 or 10 people? 4, 5?
Yeah.
Right.
And I am.
Gotcha. Okay.
Radovic is.
Okay.
So you have some older customers that are still set in their ways that still require a paper or an email accounts receivable statement in order to pay their bill.
Yes,
I
that's
take
right.
about 50-50. I wish it wasn't, but
Right. Okay.
All right, and we're going to move on to the next report. You remember under the marketing button, the marketing reports button used to be something called mailings. We rename it to customer analysis because it better reflects what this report really do. It's a marketing tool. And we also added some new capabilities that will allow you to interact with other options like reviewmydrycleaner.com that Lenny's going to talk about that in a second. That's why we added first pickup to this list. As you know, you can do a report for new customers, lost customers, and sales by sales amount and things like that. This first pickup option is a brand new addition to this report.
So we're the origin of this specific software enhancement. It came out of Flare Cleaners in Studio City in Redondo Beach, out in California. Gary Futterman owns 5 locations. So he has made a partnership with a company called ReviewMyDryCleaner.com, also known as, I believe, 320 Marketing or 350 Marketing. It's owned by a gentleman by the name of Dave Trummel, who actually used to be an old DCCS customer of ours. But basically, what the idea behind this is Gary wanted to have the option to generate a report that shows the first pickup. And what we do in creating that report for him, we also provided him with an export function directly to Review My Dry Cleaner. Now, what ReviewMyDryCleaner.com does is they are a marketing company with an online presence, and they basically deal with social media. So they get your Review My Dry Cleaner review site. On their first page, they deal with Yelp reviews from customers. They actually solicit first-time pickup customers their Yelp review of their experience, service, from quality, from everything else, in order to manage those Yelp or possibly and potential negative Yelp or Google reviews as well. So Gary was the first one to do it. We wrote some code for him. We now deal with a integration to reviewmydrycleaner.com. I'm not exactly sure their infrastructure nor what they do with the information, how the information is manipulated, and how they develop their outcome. But our goal was to export the information directly to them on a first pickup, basically a new customer. Those people that are putting reviews on the internet, whether it's a Google, a Yelp, or TripAdvisor, or whatever type of review. So what Review My Dry Cleaner does is they kind of manage those reviews. They intercept those reviews before they can become negative. They actually talk to the dry cleaner, and then they polish up those reviews. So anybody that would go to Yelp, for instance, and look at Flare Cleaners in Redondo Beach, you'll probably find that 99% of their Yelp reviews are very favorable. So that was the premise of this first customer pickup report. It could it could serve other purposes, but as I said, Flare Cleaners right now is the only customer I'm aware of. There's been about 4 or 5 customers I spoke to that are having conversations with the people at reviewmydrycleaner.com. If you want more information on them, I'd be certainly send me a private email. I'll be more than happy to send you the information that I have on them. I interviewed with them at the last Clean Show in Atlanta. Dave Trummel, who runs the company up in Wisconsin, was a customer of ours for years. So we've got a pretty good relationship. So if you're looking for better online reputation, through social media, they've been a pretty good company for Flare Cleaners. I can't comment beyond that.
All right.
So you can email these customers from there directly, the first pickup customers?
Well, yeah. I mean, you have email. Obviously, you have email capability within our system as well in order to address that specific need on a new customer. But, and again, I'm playing dumb because I can easily do that. That's a great thing for me to do. But I'm not exactly sure, what Review My Dry Cleaner does once they take over the feed of information that we send over to them. So that's a conversation to have directly with them. All I'm doing, Warren, if that's you speaking, is
yes.
Providing the link and providing the data that's necessary to feed their software in order for them to take it to the next level, wherever that next level might be.
I see.
So I can give you, I can give you Gary Futterman's name over at Flare Cleaners. He's been doing it for Zane. It's been about close to a year now. So he can tell you probably from a DCCS perspective what it's done for him, from a Review My Dry Cleaner point of view. What the relationship's been like, and what kind of return he's seen with regard to that marketing campaign.
That'd be
And
great.
then you hit Lisa with Signature Cleaners. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I have a question concerning the first pickup listing. In that report, is it possible to pull data about which store that originated in, number is, and the customer service representative's initials that were on that ticket, at least for the pickup?
Zane, Carlos, did you hear the question?
Which report?
Which report?
Which report? I'm sorry.
The question is on the first pickup listing report. Is there an ability to also pull the data about which store that ticket originated in, which one of our stores, because we have 4 locations, and also what the ticket number was, and which CSR, their initials? Could it pull that information as well?
No, not at the moment.
So
that we can add it.
so Carlos, Zane, do we have a? Can we bring up a copy of the first pickup listing report? Do we have any data that would show Teresa a little bit about the data that we capture on that report? I mean, I know Flair with all their locations, we drill down to store level. I'm not sure if we deal with actual CSR
This
accountability.
is,
Well, the CSR
this
is important,
report was
but
designed around we need the information that needs to go out to this Review My Dry Cleaner. It's really a gross report. It's not a detailed report. You know, Kyle Abbott could have 50 tickets or he could have 1 ticket. It doesn't matter. You know, he may have, by the time you run this, he may have had you come in every day. That's not what this report's looking for. It's just looking for his. There's other reports that show detail, but this is not a detail-oriented report.
Yeah. Is it Teresa? Teresa?
Teresa.
So the idea and the reason why we created this report was based upon very specific parameters that were required by Review My Dry Cleaner in order for them to take information that they needed in order to communicate directly with the customer. So they're the ones that actually dictated to us the data that was required on a specific report. But, you know, if you're looking for this type of report in some other aspect of marketing, then it's a simple understanding of what that would be and what that would look like for Signature Cleaners. And then basically we'd be able to pull the data out and create a specific customized report for you.
Okay, I think I'm going under account listings right now and pulling the reports that I need because I export the account name, phone number, and email address, and I export that into an Excel file, and then I import that into another computer.
You're gonna find in either the next screen or the next feature what we've done in sales reporting that I think might address your specific needs more specifically. Which, by the way, you know, in terms of these webinars, we hope to hold one. I'm not going to commit to every month, but you know, certainly we're going to try to do them as often as we can. But my feeling is, in discussion with our development team, that we want to have that connection with you, be able to educate you much more in ways that we haven't done before. So I think the next webinar that we're going to schedule is going to have more to do with reporting, management reporting, and how they apply and how they can apply to certain aspects of your operation.
I like the idea of that pickup technique being available in those reports. That's needed, actually.
Okay.
All right.
As well as which store the tickets were generated at.
Perfect.
Yeah. By the way, as far as back office reporting, as logically everybody knows, if we're collecting data, and that data and that logic resides in the software, then certainly depends. I mean, sometimes it's more difficult than not, but if the logic is within the software, the data is within our software, 9 out of 10 times we have a pretty easy shot at extracting it into a more customizable report. So all you have to do is tell us what you're looking for, what that cosmetic report should look like, and we'll be able to make it happen. It's as simple as that. So what you have is probably about 60, 70 static reports within the back office system that applies to everybody, that everybody requires on some daily basis, but everybody has a little bit unique needs, whether they're cosmetically, whether they're certain pieces of data information that are required. So, you know, we're at a point in 2016 where we're doing a lot of customization based upon unique needs, and we're certainly willing to do that, but we're not as smart as you are, because you live your life and you live your dry cleaning operation each and every day. I can only make assumptions of what you need. You can tell me exactly what you need. So I've got money earmarked for research and development, and I'd like to spend it in the best way possible. The best way possible is to give you what you want.
Nicely said.
Thanks, Lenny. Thank you, Lenny.
Okay, now on the same line, I'll show you some additions we did to some reports based on input from you, like the heat seal labels report. Now you can do it for one account only. Before you have to put a range there.
Right. So Carlos, that would apply to, you know, Albano's. I mean, it's probably 3 or 4 people that are doing sorting and assembly that it would be applicable to. Pier cleaners, clothesline cleaners, Albano's cleaners. I don't think, you know, Martinizing, Courtesy, West Oak, Jupiter is doing any kind of sorting and assembly through heat seal barcodes. So don't spend a lot of time on it. We can deal directly with those 3 people individually.
Right. And now that we're here, well, I want to show you also the account detail listing can also be now generated from one account. We're going to save a lot of paper. And I wanted to also emphasize that here in the middle is where you can search, generate this report by reason. You remember, by customer reason? This is how you are able to trace those reasons and evaluate the impact of your marketing campaign. And this option is included on all the other reports that are related to accounts. The short listing, the root listing, okay? Now, there's also another enhancement that was done to the narrow audit trail that you print from the front counter. This report now includes the tax information. I'll show it to you when we switch screens to the front counter. If you remember, there used to be a button here above sales analysis. It used to say financial sales journal. We just move it to under sales analysis because, I mean, it's a report that almost nobody uses. But it's still there. It didn't disappear. Okay? And now for the most dramatic enhancement in all the reports, the sales reporting.
Yeah, don't we call that the Warren Schultz?
I like that.
Originally, we had a sales report that will allow 2 levels of comparison within the report. This report has been improved, so now it allows 10 levels comparative sales information. So that's really, really powerful. The report also can send email to customers, including the output of the query. And also you can attach documents or images to that email. Now this report per se, it's the way you use it and you can take advantage of it. We think it's actually a topic for another webinar. But in the general terms, Sam will explain to you what you can do with these buttons that you can see there.
One of the key things is once you go do all these parameters that you set up, which like the report, you can save the report so that you don't have to go through setting up each time. Right, we did this by using an option of either having start date, end date for a range, what we call period. Here, where a period is 4 weeks. So you could say, if you want to compare this month to last month, it's really this period to last period, and that way you can run it next month and it's still the last period in this period. You don't have to go in and change the dates each time. So by being able to drill down to 10 levels by sales in one category versus another category versus a third category, for this month versus last month, or this 6 months versus last 6 months, this year, last year, a bunch of things. You can go and run this report and run it month to month without going in and resetting it all up, changing the dates to new dates and everything else. It still has the basic report that you can say, I want to see my top 10% customers. I want to see the guys that spend more than X amount each month. So you can just do general, like a one level, or you can, like I said, you can do multiple nest things down. The previous version, you could only compare one to the other. Now you can compare one to the other, to the other, to the other, all the way down. And you can change the report and then save it as a different report. So, the key elements is the 10 levels down, and the fact that you can save the report to use over and over again, and not have to recreate it each time.
Excuse me, where is the compare, to compare one period to another period?
You select, for example, I want to see for all price lists or categories. And these
yeah, if I could just interrupt for a second, Tony, I recognize your voice. I'm gonna have Carlos and Zane navigate through it, but I also wrote up some documentation with screenshots taking you through step by step. I'll send it to you. That I think will make and reinforce what Carlos is showing you.
Okay, because we didn't see the compare button like we had on the original. That's the way we do it, compare this to this, so that we can say above a certain amount, below a certain amount.
Yeah, compare button's always been there. You just got more opportunity and more flexibility than you've had before. So we'll go through that a little bit, Carlos.
Well, basically what I'm going to do is something, just to show you how this thing works. From February, January 26th till February 25th, I want to know my top 10% customers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on Save Template as New, and this information is going to move to this white space here at the top of the report. Then, if I want to compare to the same top 10% but in a previous month, just change my date and to go December 2015, say to the 31st. Same thing. When I click on Save Template, I have to reinforce this. Tell them what it is. Then a second level is added. The comparison is there on the code. Instead of clicking Compare, you just add the comparison right on the top of the screen.
Carlos,
and I can go on and on and on. 10 levels. And it will be or and, depending on
Carlos,
what you choose.
It was confusing when you had to go back in and re-drop down both of those arrows that were already prompted at top end and 10%. Why did you have to do that?
Well, because the system doesn't know if you want to compare a percentage against and the next level. So we'll ask you to click just that again, just to be sure.
This one,
you can compare almost everything here. Now, how to use this report, how you can take advantage of it, and all the things that you can do with this. Again, I think it will be a great material for the next webinar.
Yeah, there's so much flexibility that's been built into the extension of this report that probably the next webinar that we're going to do is going to be specifically on sales reporting. It was serving a very basic functionality of comparing, for instance, give me a list of everybody that spent X amount of dollars last year that I haven't seen in another time period, let's say the first 3 or 4 months of a new year, and who dropped off. So there was, that kind of comparisons. But, we've obviously extended that and expanded that to the point that we've made it quite more elaborate. So I think what we're going to have is, probably a webinar maybe next month that's directly related to this very key account sales reporting aspect, because there's a tremendous amount of marketing information that's involved in this.
Now, I did have this report, and I've used it, and it seemed to do, like I said, we used it for lost customers that brought in a certain amount the last 3 months, and now the last 3 or 4 weeks bring in nothing. So it would pick up all our lost customers. But the sales by store didn't really work, whether we did all sales or sales by store. Did they fix that, do you know, or so I can see where I lost those customers, at which store?
Yeah.
They did fix the sales by store?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Mm-hmm.
And that was what fixed in this rev, Carlos?
Well, we kind of released this report as part of 20.
Yeah. I think we gave it. I think we gave it to Warren prematurely.
Right.
So
okay,
some
great.
of the things that needed to be addressed and ironed out have been addressed in this specific rev. So
great.
This is really 2016.
Final verse. This is the 2016 version.
Yeah. Right.
Preliminary.
Okay, so right. So it says that you can actually save this report. If I say yes, it's going to ask me for a location to save it, and then I can retrieve it whenever I want. Just going to say no to move on.
Yeah.
Now,
I'm
sorry?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Somebody was speaking.
Moving on, for those of you.
Yeah, as I said, I think the marketing report is of such caliber that really we can get in depth and probably have a good hour session just kind of reviewing this report. So that's probably without question going to be our next webinar. So I'll be in contact and communication with everybody, and anything that you'd like to see from this report, you want to send me an email address, which you all should have from the contact that I've already made to you. Please, I mean, these revisions, these enhancements really come from your feedback and comments. So anything that you're looking for that require more specificity, then please, give us the opportunity to know what that is.
Okay. For those of you using AR, I think you're going to like this. It's another thing that we added based on your input. Cycle billing, previously the aging period days was a default of 30 days. Now you can choose how many buckets? Let's put it that
It
way.
used to be statements, the finance charge was automatically on anything 30 days and
30
older.
days. And all.
And some people didn't want to use it because they thought 30 days was too close. They should give people more time. So now you can select whether you want to charge finance charges 30 days, 60, 90, so that you can maybe reinstitute a finance charge that you didn't used to have. Aging period days is more of a memo field because statements are always, that's where you use more for the open item package. For balance forward, statements just run from when you run statements to the next time the next day.
Yeah.
So even when we use the term 30 days, it's really a period that you're running statements. It can change enough. It's not set in stone. It has to be on anything past term.
Okay. There are a couple of new additions also to the AR statements. And when you're posting, the statements now include a total page that summarizes each credit code on the last statement run. Probably some of you already have that. And also the system will now reset the account lookup under AR posting after each posting. That basically refers to the report that you print whenever you finish posting. I wanted to show you also something here. We move this button, auto price change, to the main screen of file maintenance. It used to be hidden on the top of your menu under file maintenance over here.
So when you transition to the new file maintenance, then you kind of lost auto price change. So it's back where it belongs.
Put it back where it belongs here. Auto price change is right there now, so you can see it. Okay. All right. Now we're going to move back to the front counter system. Well, this option I won't be able to demonstrate it, but it's just so you know that the original number of pieces included in the stop will now print on the marked in ticket. But this one here, there are two things here. One is, if you notice on this account lookup screen, now you do have more information there.
If you want it.
If you want it, obviously. That is the route that this customer belongs to, and the last store he visited. Right there on the right side of the account. Originally you have a C if it was a charge customer, and an S if it was a signature on file customer. Like here. Now we added these two options. Obviously it's a switch. You can decide to have it or not to have it. And we'll show you the route and the last store that this customer visited.
Where's that switch?
This switch is on the back office under front counter options. But that was the Rep 26. Also, we added a new option where I'm going to use drapes here as an example. On a shear, drapes to shear or pleat, when I set up this product, just as an example, if I answer 6, let's say, the price is multiplied by the number that I type in. But also now, you can set it up to multiply the pieces. Notice that the pieces are 6 instead of 1. Before you didn't have that option. It will always be the piece count of 1 or whatever it was under item maintenance. Now you can multiply the pieces too if you want to.
Now this is an option, correct?
That is an option, yes. Right.
The checkbox in item maintenance when you set up the item to say multiply the pieces. So.
Right. All right. Any questions about this option or any comments?
No.
Okay, now we're going to mention a couple of things. Like DCCS now will allow you negative amounts of price later. This is for a very specific situation.
If someone comes in and you quote them $100 to fix their leather jacket and clean it, and they give you a $100 deposit, then they come in and you realize you can't fix it for whatever reason. You want to give them some of their money back. Normally, right now, you'd have to void the ticket and rewrite it to get to be $25. Now, because it was a price later item, you can go in, you can scan, and you can actually give a negative $75. So the $100 now becomes $25. It's, you know, again, when someone requested it, it's something they thought would be really useful for them. How useful it is for anybody else, I don't.
Right. Another addition software based on your input is the addition of this tab, delivery info on the front counter. This is also optional, but now you can add delivery information right from the miscellaneous functions here on this screen. Before it was only permitted on the at the back office. And the next item is something that I don't know if you knew, but we put it here because we were not sure if everybody knew that the software can read another type of barcode. You see the EAN, the common barcode that you have on items that you buy at the supermarket.
We sell retail items that have a UPC code on the back. You can scan that when you set up the item, and then when the person brings, you can just scan it instead of showing it from the menu. It's been around for a while, but I don't know if anybody uses it, but it's there.
But it's there. I mean, you can make use of it, right?
Where is that in the system? I could use that feature.
It's here. If you go File Maintenance, Item Maintenance. We have a retail category. We're going to open one of these articles by double-clicking on the little pencil here. And we're going to, here under miscellaneous, you have a field where you can load the UPC code.
So you scan it off the item and put it in there?
Correct.
And then when you write a ticket for that item, you just have to scan it. You don't have to find it on the menu.
Right.
Yeah, great. Okay.
All right. So, well, another thing that we added is this button communications that has been there in the back office forever. Now can be made invisible if you choose to do so through the security module. Before we didn't have that any options. Then again, somebody found that people were sending emails, I guess, that shouldn't have been sent. All right, so that concludes the part of the enhancement. It will be a good time for comments, questions, what you have to say about that, and then we'll just review really quick the fixes. Some of these fixes are I'm familiar with it, that we try to fix certain things that you reported to us, and some others that probably you didn't even know they were there. But anyway, I'll wait for input to move on.
I have a question on the actual upgrade. When we're ready to upgrade, I'm assuming that we'll have a printout of all of the subjects that we've covered in this webinar?
Yes. There's a release note. That is a little more technical, but yes, definitely.
When are you going to start? I'm sorry. When are you going to start releasing these to us?
We already have. So what we normally do at a revision is, and the reason for the delay for this specific one is that we probably had about 60-70% of it done prior to the clean show in a conceptual way, just to show screens and show people that came to the Atlanta show and the clean show to at least show them where we were headed and some of the things that we were doing from the clean show, and then subsequently from the clean show with some other input that we had, we wound up accumulating, as we usually do, additional software releases. So I had made the decision, rather than releasing 2016 prematurely, that we would take advantage of some of the other feedback and comments, incorporate additional software enhancements, delay the release until now, and then what happens once Zane goes through the coding, what happens in the scientific world of computer software is what you wrote and what you hope the outcome is positive, usually is not. So what happens after coding, it goes to Carlos, who's in charge of quality assurance, and Carlos is in charge of testing the software, which could take weeks, sometimes months. Then subsequently, we have a couple of guinea pigs in and around Philadelphia near our corporate office where we deploy the new revision. And then we begin to deploy and to upgrade other people with that. The problem with the new software revision is that no matter who we give it to, some people, I mean all people, quite honestly, operate differently. So they never reach different aspects of the software where we can determine where there was a weakness, where there was a bug that required a fix, or some corruption that seemed to have occurred. So we try to take it very cautiously before we send it out, which is why this specific release was delayed. But I think we've got probably about 15 or 20 2016 revs under our belt currently. Seems to be working just fine. So I would say with a great deal of confidence that we are in a position to roll it out. I say it cautiously because I'm not going to roll it out to 1,200 DCCS customers all at once, because it's a burden to support to do that. So I would say, I'm having a meeting with support. You guys, because of your participation in our webinar, are on our short list. Most other people probably won't see a software revision for probably 6 months or 8 months before we get to that. So I would say this list of people that I have will go directly to support. I'll have support, communicate with you directly. You'll arrange a time and a schedule that's convenient to you. Carlos, what's been your experience in the amount of time that's required to upgrade?
I will say that server will take somewhere around between 20 minutes and half an hour, and each station will take less than 10 minutes.
Okay. Is taking it down required?
Well, on this, there's actually a new enhancement also on the upgrade. The only time that is really down is the server. We need everybody out. But then after that, as we are upgrading each machine, you can use it after it's done. You don't have to log off anymore. So you can go one and then use that one that is upgraded, and then we move to the next one and the next one and the next one. So we reduce the downtime dramatically.
So scheduling is very important to us, because the time that's involved in not only upgrade, but we also want to provide you with a little bit of personal training and communication, so you know how to use these features going forward as well. So, between the 7 people that are currently in support and the 3 major people that are involved in handling the support revision upgrades. I would say comfortably we probably could handle anywhere between 5 and 10 upgrades per week, depending upon the size of the operation, how many stores, and how many terminals are involved. So somebody like a James Redovic running a laundry with a 2-user operation, it's fast, quick, and dirty. Somebody like Warren Schultz running multiple locations with multiple workstations, so it's going to require quite a couple hours perhaps in order to get it done. So we'll try to schedule it at a time where it's certainly not impacting your daily business.
Yeah, I was more concerned with when and not how long. We can write tickets by hand in a short run. I'm not worried about that. I'm just, is it going to be a month from now, a week from now?
No, we're in a position to roll it out tomorrow.
We're ready to take it.
Who am I speaking?
This is Jim Radovic, Jupiter Laundry.
Okay, Jim.
Yeah, Ed Lev has been doing all the work for us. We got a lot of customization done by him. He's doing a superb job for us.
Well, he should. He's grossly overpaid.
Well, he should. He really does a good job, customer relations wise. I will say that. He does, and I'm privileged to see email communication between him and you. So I see friendliness of communication between the two of you. So yeah, Ed is very good, diligent, very patient, especially when it comes to new people coming on board and taking the time to learn the software. So I appreciate your comments. I'll pass it on to him. Great. Okay.
Just one of the other things that held up the release was EMV in it and get certified for EMV. So that's part of this package. Obviously, it doesn't have to be turned on until you're ready.
Yeah, and I don't know if any of you really want to discuss EMV. I mean that's a subject matter all too entailing. But I can.
I don't want to get involved in it. I just wanted to let you know that support.
Yeah, but
that's probably a whole other thing too.
I'm gonna just show you what will happen. If I go and prepay a ticket and go to credit card, the moment I click OK, you're gonna see a message.
Because nothing happens on the screen, everything happens on the box of the EMV.
And basically,
and if you ever use the EMV, you know it takes about 30 seconds to do a transaction.
Right.
That's not a
so
whole
just a quick and dirty comment on EMV. I've passed along some communication and some email blasts to you through Constant Contact, but we're done on our part. We are EMV certified. I think what's holding people back is the fact that these EMV terminals are not cheap. There is no real liability shift than you currently have. Customers may expect chip card terminals, but quite honestly, PCI compliance is not mandatory under EMV conditions. You have time to plan, you have time to budget. New people coming on board that we're adding are moving towards, obviously EMV because that's a new technology and that's a new platform. But, just to let you guys know that you are under absolutely, no rush or nobody causing you to make any move at the moment. It's purely voluntary at this point. But just to let you know, the platform OpenEdge is ready. OpenEdge is ready. We're compliant. The devices are in stock. It's just a matter of when you want to make that move.
Were you going to say something about the narrow audit trail, or did I miss that?
Yes. Sorry. Good. I'll say now. Basically, what I wanted to show you was this. The narrow audit trail that you generate from the front, that includes the tax info.
Okay.
This wasn't there before. Yeah, thanks for reminding me. Perfect. All right.
Today's agenda.
I was looking at
Well, you guys.
the
I'm
program,
sorry, go ahead.
on the program fix. Did you fix when you add a credit card to the front office? It was different if you added it to the back office. A lot of times you told me to only add it to the front or change it from the front, not from the back. Is that something that was fixed also?
There's an issue with adding American Express from the front that's been fixed. Other than that, I mean, the look of them is different, but that's because it's a different kind of style. But they both work.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So we wound up spending 90 minutes instead of 60 minutes. I hope we didn't take you out of your ball game. I want to thank everybody for your feedback, for your comments, your diligence, hanging in there with us. As I said, there'll be more announcements about additional webinars coming up that'll be more specific to certain features. But please, email support, email me personally if there's a subject matter, if there's an issue that you want to speak to, that you think it's a great topic that multiple customers might benefit from. We're all ears. Jeff and Herb Markman have given me permission and a budget to spend money. I want to make sure I spend it in the right place for the right reasons. So when it comes to software enhancements, the more that you can give me, the more I can improve the product. Benefit to everybody is obvious. So again, thank you for your input, and thank you for taking the time out of your crazy day today.
Thank you, Lenny. Really appreciate
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everybody.
All right.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.